gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Sailing.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Chill, and I'm just a girl with internet access that likes to talk about the weird shit I find on there. Tonight's not so weird. This is what has been taking over my FYP for about a week, and that would be back to school hauls. I decided that I wanted to do this video because there's a lot of unrealistic, at least for the majority, school hauls happening, and there's a lot of people that are feeling bad, and I know that it's just the internet and it's not that deep, but I think it's an okay topic to cover. And first of all, preemptively, I would just like to say shout out to all of the moms, because when I was going to put this video together, holy crap, the amount of children in every video was disheartening, to say the least. I think in the big year of 2026, we should all know that that's not a good idea and to stop doing that. But I digress. And it's no shame to the people that we're out there dropping stacks on their kids. If you like it, I love it, but there's no reason to think that you have to put yourself in debt, or that it's realistic to really spend thousands of dollars on back to school. Just in my opinion. But our first video.
Here's everything I got my third grader for back to school lunches. Starting off with her lunch bags, we picked up this Jan Sports to match her backpack. She's also obsessed with Harry Potter, so we picked up this Harry Potter Simply Modern bag. And you can never go wrong with Lilo and Stitch, so we picked up this Stitch one from Posh Peanut for her bag.
Okay, to be fair, I don't know much about the original creator of the TikTok. This girl added the captions that this is for one kid. I've raised a lot of children, and not one of them had this much stuff just for themselves. Now, if she wants to buy all that stuff for her kid and her kid loves it, maybe that's her only kid, I don't know her story, but this isn't normal. So if you see things like this, just know it ain't always like that. When it came to, and I think the whole video pertains to lunch supplies only, which is kind of wild, but like for my kids, we would get a new lunch pail every year, and I would keep their old one for when, not if, but when they misplaced the new one. And then eventually, and that was only if it was in good enough shape to do so, because kids are really tough on everything, or at least my kids were. So, we had a backup plan because kids lose shit all the time, let's be real. So the backup plan was the old one. The dishes and stuff like that, y'all know I don't know, what do they call them now? The Glad Tupperwares or whatever you can get with the red lids at the dollar store. That was their Tupperware for school lunches. This was obviously before all of these fancy schmancy things came out and all these fun silicones and whatnot, but I mean, to each his own, but it's perfectly okay to have secondhand or last year's lunch pail if there's nothing wrong with it, and some regular old Tupperware. And as my kids got older, they cared less and less what brand of what we were putting in the lunch boxes, especially when they had to make their own lunches. Obviously, I would revise it to make sure they were packing enough and not being if they were running late or whatever, make sure they had enough. But, you know, it doesn't have to be the $60 sets or whatever these cost.
Bento boxes, we picked up these Cat and Jack ones from Target, and of course we had to get the stainless steel strawberry one. How gorgeous. The large Goby spinner in the yellow color. Bento bowl in this pink color. It comes with silverware and you can have hot or cold meals in it. The Dearest Gray raspberry silicone set. How cute. The new Ami Dip blue and green containers. We picked up some Cat and Jack silverware. How cute is this set? My daughter says her favorite part of lunch is the notes. We picked up some from all.
Couple of things. I don't think any of my children currently could use chopsticks, so that's kind of impressive. I think they're all super cutesy, but I think that, you know, in a consumeristic society, the cutesy is going to get you every time, and a lot of us are out here living and dying by the budget. So don't let the cute have you in a chokehold if you don't absolutely need it. The notes. The notes thing is weird to me. I understand. I wrote my kids' notes up to a certain age, right? And they were handwritten by me. The older that they got, it stopped being every day, only because, you know, as kids get older, your relationship with the kids has to, you know, also grow and move and change in that direction. They don't, you know, they get embarrassed by notes from mom in front of their friends at lunchtime, depending on the age. But unless it was like a big day, like if they had a big thing going on, or I just, you know, if they were having a bad night the night before, just a little something to let them know I was thinking about them. But these pre-made notes strike me as odd and kind of disconnected. It just seems very weird to me. I find that parenting, especially online, and this could all be for rage bait for all I know, but it's moving in a weird direction, and I can't see it as being for the better. That's just my opinion.
Aldi's as well as Target. Some fun character cutouts from the Sunshine Tea Shops for fruits and sandwiches. We picked up 3 different water bottles. First one is from Simply Modern. We found this one at Walmart. We love Simply Modern. A Yeti Kids tumbler in tropical pink. And lastly, the Ami purple silicone water bottle. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.
Okay, so my initial thoughts just on that first one, it was giving kind of like overconsumption, especially for one kid. Your kid, your money, you spend it how you want to, but I don't feel like that should be the bar. I don't think that that is a achievable standard for everyone, and I think that it's okay that it's not. You know, like I said, kids break stuff, they lose stuff. You know, so now people steal stuff, so you kind of have to be mindful. I don't know. Does anybody remember when the hydro flasks came out? I had 2 in high school at the time, and all of their friends had the hydro flasks, and so they absolutely needed the hydro flasks. It was $50 a flask. That was a part of their Christmas, not a part of back to school, because I'm sure at the beginning of the year it was even more expensive for the hydro flasks, but my kids used them for 1 year of high school, and they went up into a cupboard full of stickers until until I packed their stuff when they moved out. So I'm sure they have them now. If they use them, I don't think that they do, but $50 a piece. Crazy. Yeah, just crazy. All right, next video.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
seeing all these back to school hauls, it is making people feel, and I always, you know, now that everybody's like chronically online, I feel like a lot of people are constantly comparing themselves and constantly questioning themselves. I think we should bring back normalizing normal shit. You don't you don't have to spend $1 million to be a good mom. And typically I find that the people that worry about whether or not they are being a good mom are some of the best moms. And, your kids don't need to have brand loyalty. I think that's weird behavior. I definitely was not in a place to allow my kids to have brand loyalty. So it's okay, moms. It's okay. They don't need 1,000 things, and it's fine. This one, yeah, that pretty much says it all, you know? Uh, there's gonna be so many other things coming up, and I kid you not, that when it was time for all of the extra stuff, you I kind of just threw it together. You know what I mean? I would hand make a bunch of stuff. We did participate in all of the school fun days, all the pajama days, all the crazy hair days, all the crazy socks days, all the 100 days, all of the days. And I kept it to a really strict budget. And I'll tell you what, having adult kids will definitely put those things into perspective. Because I wanted to keep everything my kids made, everything that they touched, every art project, everything. And the space that takes alone to keep all of that stuff is unrealistic. But also, they don't care about it when it's time to go. It was a sweet, cool thing that we did together, but you can do that on a budget because it will just be thrown away. You might take a picture of it and put it in a scrapbook, but at the end of the day, it's not things that are, that they'll even pull out of their closet at some point, just to keep it in perspective. And I don't think they're handing out awards for like the best 100-day shirt. You know what I mean? Let's see this one.
Let's do a haul that absolutely nobody asked for. Starting off strong. Under Armour shirt. All these were $4.09.
Yes. Yes. First of all, I'm so tired of seeing the influencer content. And you can't help it on TikTok. The algorithm just pushes it to everyone, no matter what niche or what kind of content you are viewing on a regular basis. Your algorithm, the internet's, influences are gonna be on your For You page. These are the types of videos that I can get behind because holy crap, somebody was actually doing a haul without a kid in the video. Let's do better. But also normalizing normal shit, like the Goodwill shopping, love it. Did I get my kids some name brand stuff because I knew that they would wear it? Yes. Was all of their stuff name brand? Never. Never. And the boys, not super into shopping, had a specific style of clothes that I knew that they would wear. So I would make them tag along, but they didn't really pick anything out except for their shoes. They were very picky about shoes. Whereas the girls always wanted to go shopping. Girls were fun. But I let my kids know very early on that, there is a budget that we have to abide by. And I think that's healthy life skills to teach the next generation. We do not have to teach debt to our children in things like back to school hauls when all of the influencers are telling them that they need $1,000 plus dropped on them is ridiculous. Also, let's talk about the sustainability aspect of it. Goodwill, thrift shops, secondhand stores, hand-me-downs. All good. All good. Obviously, new undergarments, socks, and shoes. Backpacks if they need it, coats, definitely. My kids were rough on everything, but everything that could be passed down went into a tote for the next kid. And we would buy a couple of things brand new after we went through everything that we already had, including school supplies, because if we have 5 notebooks that somebody didn't use last year, that's going in the backpack this year. It's not even written in. All of the folders with your names on it, you already have folders at home with your names on it from last year. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. So we're going to put that in the backpack. It was very much a repurpose and reuse as much as possible because that's what the budget allowed. And there was nothing wrong with it. After the first week, the kids didn't care who had what. Now it was all about, oh, can I go to this party? This person's having a birthday. We're going out to eat to support the school fundraiser. My friends are going to be there, stuff like that. So it didn't really matter at my house. And I wasn't raised up on brands. I knew what brands were. It was just not something that I was able to fit in with because I grew up in poverty. And I think that helps you have a bit of a different perspective when it comes to these things.
Navy shorts. I'm school shopping, okay? So yes, I'm going to go to Goodwill for school's clothes, especially if they're name brand stuff. I'm going to pay $4 instead of $40 on one shirt. You
Makes
can bet
sense.
my ass. This Under Armour shirt for my little one. Nike shorts. White Under Armour. No stains. Cannot beat that.
Can't beat
Navy
it.
shorts. Under Armour. Under Armour. These are all for my 8-year-old. He'll be in 3rd grade. Under Armour. And I will be going to the other Goodwill probably this weekend to see if I can find more winter clothes. I mean, most of these are like summer, but you never know. You have those mornings where it's like cold and then gets warm
Facts.
in the midday while they're at recess or something. Pair of Nike long pants. Nike for my little. Under Armour.
All name
Do you get
brand.
the vibe that we're going for? I love Nike, Under Armour, Adidas. Nothing wrong with Walmart clothes. I do love Walmart clothes too. I did get me a pair of American Eagle jeans.
Yes.
For $8 for work because I've lost weight. So I went from like a size 12 to a size 4. This super cute lamp. Love it.
Okay.
Don't know where I'm going to put it at yet, but I couldn't beat it for $2. Got Colson this thermal for our school because my kid don't eat school lunch. And
Mine didn't either.
it has like a little spoon with it.
It's cute.
And these are kind of expensive. I think these are like the Walmart brand, but this was only $2.49. So I think altogether I spent like $75. They're getting close to being done with school clothes. I just need to buy some school supplies and some school shoes, but maybe I'll get lucky and find some nice looking shoes at Goodwill.
Maybe.
But I live for Goodwill. Like that is I just love thrifting. If you know me, you know I'm gonna go to Goodwill.
And I can say that the older my kids got, and after they started working and such, when they realized the value of $1, they had no problem Goodwill shopping. There's a couple of bougie ones, you know, but thrifting was fun. Going out for the day or the weekend and hitting up thrifts was cool. And, you know, that was also our summer plan too, because we moved a lot. And so we would have to find, you know, creative ways to stay in the budget and entertained for the summer. So the days that we weren't at the pool or going here, going to the lake or whatever, we were rollerblading, got secondhand rollerblades at the Goodwill, board games, like 1,000 board games. Kid you not. Also from the Goodwill, you know, video games, books, all of it. So I love the Goodwill, and I think she did a great job. I would like to just say, you know, the kids are going to know what you teach them, and if you start teaching them constant consumerism and brand loyalty this young, I fear it could be a potential problem. I don't know, but that's just me. That's just me. And we got this one.
We need to go back to school clothing shopping on a $200 budget. I have 2 kids, so each of my kids are getting a $100 budget for all of their back to school clothing. If you watch
$100 in today's economy, that is a lofty goal, I think. Unless you're also hitting up places like the Goodwill. I don't know.
my back to school clothing guide, you would know that I do a few things before I even allow myself to go shopping. Save money, to shop intentionally, really just get everything that they actually need. Say, I think they need these, and then you get back to your house and you're like, oh, they really didn't need these as much as they needed this.
Yes, to that whole sentiment. Go intentionally with a plan, especially if you are somebody that has to mind your budget closely. I think all of us should mind our budget closely. I don't think that there's anything wrong with deciding to keep your money. I don't think that there's anything wrong with trying to save as much money as you can, because money is what makes the world go round, right? So always go with a plan. Check ahead. We would go through everything before we went shopping. That way we could write out a list of exactly what we needed. We knew new undergarments were coming. We knew new socks. We knew new shoes. We would check the backpacks. If the kids still liked the backpack and there wasn't anything wrong with the backpack, we're keeping it. We're using it again. If the backpack, they didn't really like that character anymore, they don't really like that backpack, we would give it away or donate it, or sell it for really cheap on like Marketplace or something. Same thing with school supplies. Everything that you brought home in that backpack, we are going through. We'll throw out all the papers that you don't want, all the broken pencils, the chewed up pens, whatever it is, we'll toss that, but we're keeping everything that can be kept, and that will be reused next year, because we know there's going to be X amount of folders, there's going to be X amount of binders, there's going to be X amount of pencils or whatever, so whatever they brought home, we went through it, and that's how we made the list. And clothes was the same thing too. Yes, everybody got new something, a few new outfits, but we went through your whole wardrobe. We did the elimination, what had to be tossed, what doesn't fit, what can be hand-me-downs. And then we would go in knowing, like, okay, do you really need 5 more t-shirts, or will the 20 that you already have work? you know, you guys got to be mindful. We got to be mindful.
Item. First thing that I do before I go clothing shopping is I get a chart like this. Here is a little prompt you can put into ChatGPT so that you can have your own guide. And then before I go shopping, I pull out everything that they already have. I also do this for things like backpacks, school supplies. But right now we're going to focus on clothes. We'll do that in a few days. I make my donation pile, my sell pile, get rid of everything that they're growing out of. Then I go off with this guide. So for example, in the tops, it recommends 8 to 10 tops for my city and state for my kids. So after purging,
does anybody else do that? That's very odd to me that ChatGPT would tell you a list based on the city and state that you live in. And okay, that's new to me. Let me know.
And getting rid of things. If I'm left with 5 tops and I want 8 to 10, then they need about 5 more tops. So I put 5 tops on my shopping list for that kid. I hope that makes sense. That way, everything that we already have that still fits them, is in good condition, is still getting good use, but they still get new things. First thing that we're going to do is drop off our donation bag. I am not going to allow myself to go get new things until I drop this off, mainly because I think this is a universal issue. I'm not trying to leave that bag sitting in my car for days and weeks and months until I finally go drop it off.
Fair.
Put a little cheat sheet in the back for each of them, what they need, and I'll cross off as we go.
See, now that's just how I would do it. It was just make a handwritten list and be done with it.
Socks I'll most likely get somewhere else. And then when I get everything that they need, if one of the kids has anything left over in their budget, get some of the other things that aren't necessarily a need, but more of a want or something that I think they'll like.
Down that way, it like takes you through kind of like infant.
Cute. So we're gonna shop
that's
for
a
Clea
cute
first.
secondhand
Just
store.
turned 3 yesterday, so we're gonna do 3T and then anything up because I do want to size up instead of size down. I love when they bundle things together like this.
Cute.
In total at Ray Alana's, we spent $205.52. Did go a little bit over budget, which is fine. I just moved that extra $5 from my fund money this month into their back to school fund. Quick little haul of everything that I got. So for shoes, 2 different sneakers, pink ones, black and white Nike, and these New Balances. 3 pairs of pajamas, fruit ones, rainbow stripes. It's really cute set, which I love. Long sleeve flower shirt, corduroy pants, long sleeve, and a pair of black leggings. It's Minnie Mouse.
So I liked the points that she made in that video, but you know, definitely shop secondhand if you can, if you like it. You might find, you know, I've found tons of just brand new stuff at a thrift store, but I don't like, why are we showing the kids' clothes? You know what I mean? Is that weird to anybody else, or is that just me? I think we're sharing too much. We're sharing too much. The amount of videos I saw with actual children in them, and then the amount of videos I saw made by children, was alarming. Especially since I know that other creators have already been on this bandwagon for years about keeping the kids' images offline. But I also think it's weird to hold up every article of clothing. You know what I mean? Like, saying the kid's name, gender, the size, showing every little thing just seems weird to me. I don't understand that. It's not really anybody's business, you know, exactly every outfit that you got them. I also don't like the idea of the names being on, you know, embroidered onto their outerwear. I think that's kind of dangerous, especially for the littles. You know, somebody could be walking down the street and see that little's name on their bag and holler it out, and that, you know, it just leads to issues. Like, it makes kids feel more comfortable if they think that somebody knows them. I don't know. I just don't like it. And that's just a personal preference, but let me know what you guys think. I know that I have not made any content in a while, and life has just been lifing, and it kind of is what it is, but I'm hoping to get some more out soon. But yeah, what do you guys do for back to school shopping? Do you have to do back to school shopping anymore? What was it like when you were a kid back to school shopping? For me, my household, it was new shoes if you needed it, new backpacks if you needed it. We went through all of the clothes, got a couple of new outfits, and the actual supply list, it wasn't really a big, huge thing. And I guess that's why now it's just not a huge thing to me either. It was a nice day out with my mom. I don't know. But how was your guys's? Were you dropping thousands of dollars on supplies and clothes and stuff? Let me know. But if you guys like this kind of content or you just like hanging out with me, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. You're the question, you're the answer. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you